I just want to bring everyone's attention to what Donald Trump has posted just in the last minute or so on his social media, saying a whole civilization will die tonight, never to be brought back again. I don't want that to happen, but it probably will. However, now that we have complete and total regime change, where different, smarter and less radicalised minds prevail, maybe something revolutionary, wonderful can happen. Who knows? We will find out tonight. One of the most important moments in the long and complex history of the world. 47 years of extortion, corruption and death will finally end. God bless the great people of Iran. That is Donald Trump writing on Truth Social just a couple of minutes ago. Okay, to discuss all of this a little bit further, joining me now is Hassan Ahmadian. He's an associate professor at the University of Tehran. Thanks so much for being with us here.
Sure.
First of all, what do you make of that statement, if we can just go through it almost line by line at this point?
I think it's not out of context with what he has been tweeting and coming up with comments against Iran. The tone, however, is going harsher by the day, which to me suggests that strategically he's in trouble. He wants his threats to land more seriously on the Iranians and force them to change their minds, which the Iranians are saying no to. I think that's making him angrier and more desperate to push them further. Now, he can pull this off, of course. He can't completely destroy Iran, but he can attack harder. And the Iranians have said we will retaliate also harder. That's a really quagmire that started with the beginning of this unlawful war and is continuing. He didn't achieve any of his objectives. And now the objective is to open the Strait of Hormuz, which was wide open before the war. And so for that, he's threatening, whereas the Iranians are holding the cards they have. You can't balance those cards with threats. The Iranians didn't stop retaliating when they were being bombed. Now, with a single tweet or harsher threats, they won't back down. That's my guess.
Yeah, do you think that there's some hope in this post, though? Just to bring your attention to this line. However, now that we have complete and total regime change, where different, smarter and less radicalised minds prevail, does that give you hope that there might be some deal done with Donald Trump before then? Is he leaving the door open slightly for that to happen? I'm
not sure what he's talking about. Maybe he's thinking about two scenarios. One is that the Iranians would stop their posture of defiance against him and start, capitulating, basically. That's what he has been after. He said that. Or a coup, which is unrealistic in Iran. For those who know the Iranian political system, they won't really expect anything of the sort to happen. Now, he's basically telling the Iranians, you have to agree, otherwise we will destroy your civilization. It's basically, as I said, it's rhyming with his entire messaging during this war, especially coming to these days, the last days of the war. He's getting more angry, and this is very clear in his messaging, using, dirty language against the Iranians to open the Strait of Hormuz. The Iranians are not really taken seriously at this point.
But do you think that things have changed just in the last 24 hours? We've seen an expansion of targets from Israel and the US in Iran. Universities, petrochemical facilities hit, obviously bridges. And now we've seen threats and potentially what looked like an attack on train lines, which Israel had warned about just a few hours ago. As that list expands with less than 12 hours to go, does that not show you how serious Trump is at this point in time, that this time the deadline is different?
Yeah, well, the deadline might be different. We've seen the hitting on Iran.
But that he will follow through with that threat, that he will actually hit all the power plants that he's warned that he's going to do, wipe out every single one within 4 hours.
Yeah, well, that's a really hard, operational, basically impossibility to hit them all in a single hour. He needs thousands of hits to destroy Iran's power plants, because Iran dispersed them around the country waiting because they knew.
But that is the threat. That is, he's going to do that within 4 hours of him telling his military to go for it.
Yeah, and how that can be a solution for him, for the energy markets. Iranians will hit back, how that can land on energy markets. Will the Iranians capitulate on Hormuz if he does that? I don't see any really solution in targeting Iran in a harsher and more, a heavier way that he is threatening with. That is, I think the threat itself is meant to bear some fruits, but the Iranians are defying that and saying, no, we didn't capitulate in the face of aggression from the two countries that attacked us. We won't capitulate in the face of a threat.
Does Tehran even want any sort of deal at this point in time, do you think? Or are they more than happy to see things continue like it is and the pressure to continue to mount on President Trump over the next few weeks? Or do they want this to come to a conclusion?
Of course. Their posture has been from the get-go, stop the war, then we can negotiate. The foreign minister said that, the president said that. Their main priority is actually to stop the war. And they're saying that you have to stop the war for us to negotiate. We won't negotiate under fire because that puts them in a weaker position on the table. They don't want that position. They want for the fighting to stop as the main condition for paving the way for a negotiated settlement on other issues.
Hassan, we'll have to leave it there for the moment, but we really do appreciate your time. No doubt we'll be talking to you through the hours as we continue to get updates. Hassan Ahmadian, Associate Professor at the University of Tehran.
Thank you.